everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and this is the condensed or sped up version of what we did on the live stream today over on the Art Joy of Sharing a live stream show. And I forgot to turn on my secondary camera until almost halfway through the hour and a half. I think I ended up with like 48 minutes of footage here. So the first ATC that I made, you'll just see a picture of it because I didn't have the footage. But what we're doing today in Art Joy of Sharing Art Community, our theme this month is hashtag AJOS muted tones. And all it really means is we are learning about color theory, color mixing, how to make tints, how to make tones, how to neutralize colors to make them more calming, and how to create your own personalized palette by mixing your colors. That's what we're doing all month, talking about that in all ways, shape, and form. So that includes this episode of AJOS Muted Tones, inspired by the mood board, because the mood board has a muted palette and some pictures on it. We're also going to be doing mini challenges all the way through the month with one picture and a palette taken from that photo. That's what we're doing all month in Art Joy of Sharing Art Community on Facebook. If you haven't joined yet, the link is below and you can ask to join. Just make sure that you answer the questions. So I have a big bucket full of ATC backgrounds. A lot of them were given to me and some of them I made, but there's probably 2 or 3 or 400, 500 of them in this bucket. And I thought today would be a good day to play with some of them. So all the ATCs that I'm making are starting out with a colored background, but I pulled out ones that I thought went with our theme of the mood board and the muted tones, muted palette. So that is what I'm doing in this footage. I know that it's a little bit far away. It was taken with my phone, which is my secondary camera, but you can absolutely see what I'm doing. I was trying to make an ATC for each of the pictures, inspired by each of the pictures. So when you have a mood board, the whole thought of it is that you are using it as a jumping off point. It's not literal. You don't have to make a flower. You don't have to make a cactus. If you don't want to, you can. You absolutely can if that's what you want to do in your art. But you could also just use the colors, just use the shapes, or just the concept of the mood board to make a page. Maybe it's a birthday page with fireworks and it's in these colors, or maybe it's a desert landscape because desert definitely has muted colors everywhere. I see them all day long. This particular ATC was inspired by the artichokes, and I found this little picture of this person who's wearing an outfit that looks like it's made out of artichoke leaves. And so I used that picture, I cut it out, fussy cut it. I used some die cut leaves in different green colors to kind of make her coming out of this, growing out of this artichoke. I used some stamped florals in the background to bring in that pink and light red tone. And yeah, I was very amused by that one, actually. The first one I made was inspired by the desert. It has a lizard on it. It has a cactus, a couple different cactuses, and then just the colors of the dusty greens and aloe colors, and then a little bit of that peachy pinky orange color for the flowers on the cactus. And I made it out of little bits. Different. One of them is a rub-on. One of them is like cut out from stamped. I made some stamps one time to build your own prickly pear cactus, hand carved. And that's what the first one was, which I didn't get the footage. So then the third one and the fourth one, I kind of worked back and forth between them. I had this little snippet from a magazine that was part of a painting, and I have no idea at this point because this is from my basket of cutout magazine bits and just different stuff that is sorted into this plastic thing. And so I wanted to use that little part of a painting. It's an abstracted painting, and I ended up changing it quite a bit. But it did start out as a piece of someone else's painting in those really, really almost beachy, faded, faded Florida sign beachy colors, which are definitely a muted palette. Then the other one, I was thinking about I think they're peony flowers there in the center of that one, and I was making a floral on this dusty green background. And I had a stamped tissue paper, and I'm just gluing that down to the ATC, and then I'll add color and line work later. So I'm kind of working between those two. I had this cutout person that I was planning on putting with the little other piece on that, but it was too big. So then I ended up having to find something else. Now this is a piece of napkin, and it's got a heart shape, and then the background is like typed text type stuff. And I was planning on using it on the floral one, but then I said no, it doesn't go. And I ended up using on the other one. And it started out with like almost like a watercolor effect with blues and grays, which gray is a great combination with a muted palette. Gray is a muted color and also a neutral. So I guess I'm back to working with this little floral one, and the original stamped image that I did a swap with archival ink stamped on tissue paper, and then we all swapped so that we could have different images. And the person who stamped it twisted the stamp a little bit, and so I needed to clean up the lines, so I did that. I also added an extra flower, and then I'm adding color, and what I'm using is gel sticks, gelatos. That's a gelato. I think I used a couple different gelatos and a King Art gel stick. And maybe, no, I guess it was gelatos and gel sticks. I might have used a distress crayon on the leaves, maybe. I don't know. All kinds of smushy media, like smushy crayon type stuff. So then I blended it out a little bit with water, but it was really covering up the black lines, so I had to come back in and do the illustration lines again afterward. So I had to let it dry. Also, after the camera was off, this one got some glitter, some Stickles glitter glue on it, as you'll see in the photograph. Because, hey, it might be a muted palette, but it can still have glitter, right? Right? So I colored all that stuff in. The background was already kind of a dusty green print of some sort. And then I put some stickers on there that are from a book. This fourth one, ends up being my favorite of all of them. I really just like how it came out. I put that bit of napkin on there with the heart to balance the composition, because I only had that one thing at the lower bottom and it was very unbalanced. And then I just decided to add in some of the rest of the napkin, which has print on it. It's a very, very subtle. And then I took this gray brush pen and I started to alter the painting a little bit. I added some shadows. I added a door and a window in a very kind of abstracted way to make it look like a house, or an old building or an abandoned barn or something. Thought it was interesting. Then I added some more gray mark making lines around the card, just having that kind of misty gray color. And then I used a gray fine liner pen to write scribbly words on there, which may have happened after the camera got turned off, maybe. So I found the word explore on my little stickers that are from snippets from books. It's a Ranger product, Tim Holtz distress product. It says explore. And then I thought to myself that it seemed like maybe an abandoned building on a misty morning, and you're just, out tromping around looking at stuff, and maybe it has interesting colors or interesting patina on it or something, and it would be fun to explore. So I wrote with a gray marker, and you can't read it. You can only just see the design element going up one of those lines that I created when I was mark making, and you'll see it in the close-up. But the words say something like exploring on a, or exploring on a misty morning or something like that. But they're very scribbly, so you can't read them. So then I added in the black lines to that one. I added some white highlights and splatters, put on the letters, look on the bright side. Winter's almost over, look on the bright side. It's almost spring. And then I finished this one. I guess I'm still adding a little bit of line work just for mark making sake. And I was showing how it was inspired by the colors. But see, there's like that little scratchy, scribbly writing up the side, which is another design element. So yeah, this is kind of a short video, and I'm sorry about that. Maybe not the best video I've ever made, but I know some people like to watch what we did on the live stream without having to watch the entire recording of the live stream, which is long, and just kind of get a snippet of it. So that's what I make on these four on this channel. So thanks for watching. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, join the channel membership, all those things. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.